if a car was the only amphibious civilian passenger vehicle to be mass-produced back in the 60s. 50 years later, parts are scarce and it takes a lot to keep these things running smooth. Boxers come for the physical workout they get from the class, but while they're here, they're also getting a boost to their brains. Busier roads tend to be easier to clear because the cars are there to work the salt into the roads. You can find both these foods and more here at the fairgrounds through Saturday. I'm about to go eat this whole elephant ear, so for your news now, I'm Britt Salay. Jeff, Jessica, back to you. Teams went around to different obstacles around the downtown area like this one, trying to be the team with the most points at the end. The factory makes 108 footballs per team for the big day, but it takes a few thousand tries to get them all perfect and indistinguishable. Randy said he's lucky in that his barber shop hasn't really missed a step, but other downtown businesses haven't had that same luck. The owner of Cloud9 Cafe said that since the fire, they've had trouble just getting people through the door. According to Rents, the problem with the manure is the nutrients inside it. When they get in the water, they feed a type of algae that can render the lake essentially toxic. Interior Motifs has finally been able to reopen, but the owner says the scaffolding and fence that keeps customers safe may be the thing keeping them away. While some may think that you can find the perfect tree in a box, according to Reese, the only environmentally friendly option is to get it at the farm.
As of now, there's no cure for Parkinson's disease, but that doesn't stop around 20 Lima locals from fighting back against the degenerative disease. Since we last stopped by in January, the Rocksteady boxing class by the Senior Citizen Services has quadrupled its class size, proving boxing to be a popular and fun way for people with Parkinson's to get a workout and help maintain their movement.
Well, a lot of people with Parkinson's are affected with a stooped posture, a shuffling gait, balance issues, and tremor. And so a lot of the aspects of boxing, you have to really challenge your balance to be in a boxing stance and to reach and to punch, to move around, move forward, move backward, move side to side. So that really helps with the balance. And a lot of the functional activities help with strength, being able to maintain upright posture and walking correctly.
The boxers come for the physical workout they get from the class, but while they're here, they're also getting a boost to their brains.
One of the things that Parkinson's patients deal with is depression. Because there is no cure, and you think, woe is me, this takes it all away. You're in here having a good time with people that all have the same problem. We can't make the disease go away, or there's no cure for it, but we can limit the effects of what's happening. Exercise has proven to be one of the things that has done that.
Spratt, who has been involved with the class since its beginnings, said not only has he noticed an improvement in his overall health, it's also given him a boost in his confidence. In Lima, brittsalay, your news now. Over a week after the Canita Hotel fire, a portion of Augley Street is still closed to traffic. While most of the street is business as usual, those closest to the location of the fire have seen hits to their foot traffic, and one even had to relocate in order to keep his business going.
I was in the bottom floor, and the only damage I had was water damage, no fire or smoke damage, but there was several foot of water. The community and my customers has been great. The word has got around on newspapers and Facebook. It's been busy since I started.
Randy said he's lucky in that his barber shop hasn't really missed a step, but other downtown businesses haven't had that same luck. The owner of Cloud9 Cafe said that since the fire, they've had trouble just getting people through the door.
I usually have 3 people on the payroll every day, and when you add that up and you don't have the people coming in to eat, it's not good.
Cloud9 Cafe is nearing their 14th anniversary in downtown Wapak, but have seen low foot traffic since the fire. Wilcox says it's been a combination of things, including customers not having a place to park. They've also lost money to food waste and had to cut back on expenses to make up the difference.
We just aren't putting out as much food, and I did not even place a food order this week at all. So there are things that we are out of, but until this gets fixed, I don't want to add to that.
Meanwhile, across the road, Interior Motifs owner Jamie Metzger has had to shutter her business entirely because it sits right next to the Canita Hotel and has been barricaded off for safety reasons.
They have us barricaded off for this piece of crown that they're taking down right now to protect any pedestrians walking in and out of our store. Right now, through the holidays, it's not been as big of a deal as what it will be going forward. We need to be able to have the streets and doors open so people can come in, and it's our livelihood.
Both Wilcox and Metzger said they were told the city hoped to have a fence and canopy up by Monday so that the street can be reopened. As for Randy's barber shop, he plans on staying at the Mechanic Street location for a few months. After that, he is hoping to build his own place, but says nothing is set in stone. In Wapak, brittsalay, your news now.
Senator Sherrod Brown says he's still working on helping Ohioans keep their pensions in the new congressional session. Brown says the pension problem is still one of his highest priorities and that he, Senator Rob Portman, and others are still working on the pension bill. The bill would prohibit reductions by half or more in pension benefits to those in multi-employer pension plans. He's hoping to have the issue resolved this year and says the longer it waits, the harder it'll be to fix. The Findlay Fire Department is investigating an early morning fire that broke out in an unoccupied building in downtown Findlay. Firefighters were called to the 200 block of North Main around 3:30 this morning with reports of fire and smoke coming out of the second floor windows of a vacant building. Luckily for the responders, the weather was generally calm and the building was already secured from the outside as it had been sitting empty for a couple of months. It took them under an hour to get the flames under control, but several more were spent extinguishing hot spots and clearing debris. The biggest issue they ran into was the poor structural condition the building was in. A man is in the hospital after a single vehicle crash on Jervis Road this morning. According to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Lima post, troopers were on the scene at the intersection of Jervis Road and Lincoln Highway just before 9 this morning, where hours before 48-year-old Michael Schimler of Lima was traveling southbound on Jervis Road and failed to stop at the stop sign for Lincoln Highway. Schimler's vehicle traveled through a private drive and struck a ditch. The crash happened around 1:30 in the morning. American Township Fire and EMS responded to the scene and transported Schimler to Mercy Health, where he remains in stable condition. Schimler is suspected of using a cell phone at the time of the crash, and alcohol may have been a factor. The Hancock County Sheriff's Office responded to a single vehicle crash in Liberty Township early this morning. 23-year-old Anthony Highstand of Findlay was traveling south on County Road 9 when he lost control of the Chevrolet he was driving. The vehicle traveled off-road and struck a utility pole before rolling multiple times and coming to a stop in a field. Highstand was transported to Blanchard Valley Hospital for treatment. Alcohol is suspected to be a factor in the crash. He was cited for failure to control and operating a vehicle while impaired.